What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Favorite Movie and Why. This is episode 4, the interview series where I talk to film movie YouTubers and start off the interview with the question, what is your favorite movie and why? And today, oh my God, I'm so excited for our guest today. You guys have no idea. I've been talking to him for a while. His channel is awesome. We've got NerdyBlerbTV here today, man. How are you doing? Thank you for coming on the channel today.
Dude, I'm great. Are you sure you're not talking about somebody else? Like, are you sure that you invited the right guy here? I don't know. Like, this is great. I love your channel. I'm stoked to be here, bro. Thank you so much.
I'm definitely talking to the right person because your energy, man, I'm trying to match it. I cannot match your energy. It is awesome. It is infectious. And yes, I'm definitely talking about you. I got it right. So don't worry. You're in the right place. We're all in the right place right now. But yeah, so real quick, guys, if you do not know, just a few quick stats. Sorry, stumbled over my words. We are very close to 900 subscribers on his YouTube, 892 subscribers. So go subscribe to his YouTube. Check him out on Twitter, Instagram, all of that good stuff.
Don't do that. Go and just stay here. Subscribe here if you haven't already. Don't do that. We need to remind people that my content is really weird. It's weird. You don't want any of it. Stay here. Stay right where you are. I'm so stoked to talk about movies, bro.
Bro, thank you. Yes, obviously, I will hit that at the end, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. But no, definitely go check out his stuff. I've been watching some of his stuff today, taking some notes, looking at, doing my research like I do before every interview. And his stuff, he says, is weird, but I like it. I think it's funny. I think it's cool. I like all the content. I think it's very unique. It's not like something that you see on a regular movie or entertainment YouTube channel, which I really like and really enjoy. We'll get more into that later into the interview, but we are going to start with the first question. The name of this show is Favorite Movie and Why. So I have to ask you, first off, what is your favorite movie and why?
So this one's pretty easy for me, except for the longest time, I didn't know it was my favorite movie. I had to ease myself into it, becoming an adult, becoming a father, a husband, all of that kind of stuff. But E.T. has clenched it for me. I love that movie so much. That's
awesome, man. And so you said, obviously, you didn't know at first that it was your favorite. So what did it for you? You said, becoming a husband, a father, how did that kind of contribute? Why now is this your favorite movie?
So it's a combination of a lot of different things, but father is probably the biggest one, just because. I mean, beforehand, I knew that I loved the movie. It was in my top 5, but then I became a father. I watched it. I learned a lot about the filming of it, the making of it, what Steven Spielberg did, what John Williams did with the score, a score that just so happens to be one of my favorites of all time. It's just a lot of different things, but it all came down to the emotion that I always get. I cry at least 5 times during that, at places that people would never expect, at parts where Elliot's showing E.T. his toys, it's just like when he goes out to the backyard and finds him for the first time, it's just it's more nostalgic for me, and it's an emotional, personal nostalgic for me, because that more than any other movie makes me feel like I'm a kid again, which it was intended to do. But for me, no other movie does that better. And that is why I like it. I'm not saying that everybody should like it and it should be in their top 5 or top 1, but it's a movie. That's a great thing about movies, is that they all speak to us differently. That one makes me feel young again.
And I've said this multiple times. It's great when a movie can take you back, make you feel like a kid again. I have many examples of that as well. But yeah, I'm gonna sorry, Coke Zero gang. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. So we got talked a little bit about that. And I want to ask you, what was your first experience with this film? The first time you saw this, kind of what was that first experience like?
So my dad would probably go to jail if I said this on the internet. So hopefully this is not on the internet, right? Anyway, so he recorded it on VHS from TV, which was not allowed back in the day. It's still not allowed back today, but nobody watches VHSs, so whatever. But he recorded it on there, and we had, I mean, this is a really old movie. This is one that goes very, very way back for me. But when I remember it, we watched it at our family cabin, or at least getting ready to go. I can't really remember. It's been that long. But I just remember watching the bikes of the kids fly into the sunset, Elliot across the moon, and it was just so magical to me. E.T. was kind of weird to me as a kid. That's why I felt like I had to ease myself into it, because it didn't really go very well. I mean, the movie starts very dark and very weird, but then it eases you into it because it's starting to show you what, like, two different worlds colliding, and yet both of them can be beautiful. And I feel like that was always something I was like weird, like kind of wary about, but I really loved, oh man, the Halloween scene where they're walking around and he's draped in the ghost costume, and you see Yoda and just all of that kind of stuff. It's just all coming back to me now, Celine Dion style. So like I don't really know my first experience with it, other than we were all watching it together on VHS, on a pirated VHS, and we had to watch through like the commercials and everything. I'm really young, like I'm in my single digit years, and like it was fun, because also I knew that I had watched this movie beforehand, and I remember thinking, oh, I really like this movie, so I can't even remember the first time that I've ever seen it. So like it's just a movie that I feel like is timeless to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's talked about by everyone as one of those really great classic movies. Going to veer a little bit off track of the movie itself and get a little more into YouTube and talk a little bit more about your channel. Like we said, you're creeping up on 900 subscribers, guys. Come on, let's get him over to 900 subscribers. I don't know if my subscribers have any pull, but we'll see. But I wanted to just kind of go to the start, go to your roots, kind of just see, where did this channel come from? Where did you start? What was kind of the driving force to get you to start your own YouTube channel?
A lot of people don't know this, but I actually work in YouTube. Like my job is actually to make videos for YouTube for a company. And so that kind of like definitely got me into it. I always watched YouTube videos not for movies, not for pop culture, none of that. I always watched it for I taught myself everything I know when it comes to videography, video editing, all of that kind of stuff, all through YouTube. And so I just watched the crap out of that kind of stuff. I learned more things. I liked history things on YouTube. I really, really liked board game tutorials, which that is another thing about me. I'm like super huge into board games. Like it's borderline probably a sickness. And I would watch how they're played, watch the best way to play it. And then one day, one of my buddies, who then became one of my colleagues at that job, asked me, he's like, hey, are you ever gonna like get into YouTube? Because he knows how much I would like work, first off, at my job for it, and then second, like film just cool random things on my own free time. And I just like, nah, because like I was thinking way more of like tutorial stuff. I was thinking more like vlog stuff, and I'm not really into that. Like I am for my own personal use, but like to kind of get big, no. But it always planted a seed in the back of my head, and I've over time I like accumulated all of this stuff, and I was given a lot of this stuff, and I just thought maybe one day. But then my brother and I read the book Ready Player One, and we just really liked it. And NerdyBlurbTV, my channel, me and my brother's channel, it's everybody's channel, really. We just thought this would be really cool because we read the book and we're going to go and see the movie. We should talk about how the two are different. And so like one day I just like, you know what, just screw it. Let's put all the stuff up and just record. Hit record. The microphone wasn't even plugged in at the very beginning of it. And then we went to the movie, came back, checked our playback that it wasn't even recording. And I was like, you know what, screw it. It'd be a good story to tell when we're 100 videos deep, which we are now. And it's crazy. That's where we are. We started with books and it just kind of formed into movies. Because then it was Marvel related content because Infinity War was coming out very soon. And I met someone through the comments because I didn't really know that was like a thing. In fact, like all of my old videos that I had on YouTube on my own personal channel, I like when somebody would comment, I was like, that's freaking weird. Why would you do that? Like, this is just a video of like an old family thing. But then I started to learn how cool it was when a very good friend of mine like today, still today, Comic Man Jake, who has his own channel, go and check him out. He's going to be making stuff very soon. But he commented like, this channel's awesome. I love Marvel. I love comic books. I found him on a Facebook thing. I was like, hey, we make stuff too, like if you're interested. But then he would just like talk about it all the time. And we had these conversations. And then that's when I was just like, YouTube could be so fun. And it's never stopped being fun for the last couple of years that we've done it. I'm not really big into growth. I'm way more into relationships, like talking with you. It's so cool. I love the community here, and I want to see it grow so much more. And that's where we started, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
What I just want to say, what a perfect way to start a channel than talking about Ready Player One. I mean,
yes.
I'm just real quick, my big hot take of last year, you guys that are watching the channel know right now I'm going through my top 100 favorite movies of all time for the second time. I did it last year. I'm doing it this year. And last year, the biggest hot take that everyone kept commenting about was, why is Ready Player One in your top 5? Because I love the book. I love the movie. Spoiler alert, the video's already been out for like a week or so now, but Ready Player One is in like the 70s now, so everyone calm down. But that's just such a great story. That's just awesome. But that's actually interesting, because I was actually gonna ask you about this in a little bit, because I read in your descriptions and stuff that you want this to be more of a community, and you just mentioned that you want this to be a community. You're not worried about growth, you're worried about a community, and that's something that I think is really interesting, because I've talked to multiple people. I spoke with Certain Vids, whose episode you guys are going to see right before this directly, and he said the same thing about how he wants a community. He wants to just talk to people in the comments and stuff like that. So I think that's really interesting. So my next question that I was going to ask is like, it's how are you looking to grow? Like that's what I usually ask people. And you've just said you're not really looking for growth, but how are you kind of looking to, kind of further build this community? I'll ask it in that way. How are you looking to further build the community that you have already started to build on this channel?
Okay, well, without revealing too much about what we're going to be doing in the future very soon here, is that we're going to be making YouTube so much more interactive. We are single-handedly going to try and change YouTube for what we know it is right now. There's a lot more interactive platforms out there, and YouTube, it just so happens to not be one of them as much as it could be. And we want to change that. We want to change to where relationships that people have with other channels go outside of the platform, outside of YouTube, and people are actually talking to each other, getting to know each other. Some of the people that we know from Film Geeks, these are people I actually talk to on a regular basis on my phone, in email, in Instagram. Like it's so cool that all around the country, and I'm talking about these guys are all over. We've got crazy awesome friends in Florida, we got awesome people in New York, Detroit, California. It's just so cool how we've been able to bring so many people together just because they're willing to want to watch content, to be interactive. And I thought that finding a way to be more interactive through the content that everybody makes, we could bring more people in together. So and like, sure, I sure do hope that our channel grows a little bit more so that we can reach more people. It's never been about monetization. It's never been about getting big or getting money. And because like it's all just pipe dreams. I'm happy for the people who do get that and do strive for 1K and everything. But like I dread the day, and I've said this before, I dread the day that we do like strike gold and we grow really big, because the comment section is going to be next to nothing anymore, because it's just going to be so many people talking all the time. You go look at bigger channels that just never get to any comments. I hate that. I don't want that. I want to be able to be within a smaller community that everybody can come to. If somebody has over 3,000 subscribers, no offense on you, it's just that I know you don't have time for me anymore. And it's the small guys. It's guys like us that I want to hit our goals and to grow bigger, and making YouTube a more interactive way outside of the platform to enjoy within that platform is something that we are striving to do.
Yeah, and that's great. And it can get overwhelming at times. If you grow, you get all those comments and stuff. But I mean, guys, he's going to have some stuff coming out soon. we're not going to get too deep into it. Make sure you guys are subscribed. You're checking this stuff out. Make sure that you know when he announces that you are there to see it. But the next thing I'm going to ask you is a question I've asked everyone so far that I've actually been really interested in hearing different perspectives. And the question is, what is one thing that you wish you knew when you started YouTube that you know now?
Oh man, I wish I would have known that building a community was so much more important to me, at least. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who want to just get as many subscribers as absolutely possible. Great. That's just not me. I don't want that. I've told you why, and there's more reasons for that, but the biggest reason is because I fear that the relationships will go sour just because I won't have time anymore. If I would have started right off the gate believing that YouTube can be a community, it can grow relationships, you can meet people, you can learn new things, then I wouldn't have like started really hard off the gate with like making the right thumbnails and making the right, like the right titles for your videos or the right hashtags. It's important if your goal is different than mine. My goal might be different than somebody else's. That person might want to get to 1K faster than I do, but I want to be able to see more comments. That's how I gauge my success on a video. It could get 12 views, but if we got 12 comments within that video, that's a huge success because everybody who's watching it is talking about it. And that's why we started YouTube, is to create a conversation, to start a dialogue, and to get to know other people and support what they're doing as well. So like, I mean, there's so many different things that I could have learned, but I really believe that that's the first one. The second one is just start doing it. Like I sat on all of this. I mean, we've got all of these lights, all these cameras, this green screen, we got all of this stuff right here. And we sat on it for about a year. And I mean me, I just sat on it for about a year. As soon as I started working at the job that I'm at now, I thought it'd be cool. Sure. But I sat on it for so long that I just thought, oh, I'll never get to it. But really, it just really took Ready Player One. It just took one night to just be like, screw it. Let's just go do it right now. Like, whatever. I don't script. None of us script any of the videos that we do because nobody ain't got time for that. And not to mention, I feel like I can be myself when I do that. And that's what I was worried about, is that it has to be perfect, that this is going to be on the internet for the rest of my life. Who cares? Just do it, because we screw up in conversations every single days of our lives. Why not do it on the internet too? So it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. I like it. And I wish I wouldn't have taken it so serious to begin with.
Hey man, I mean that's one of the greatest policies you can have, is just have fun with it. I mean, that's something that I've tried to live by, in the new iteration of my channel. So I want to ask another follow up to that. And so you're saying, it doesn't matter if you get 12 likes as long as you get those 12 comments. You want to talk to people, you want to engage with people. So how do you go about getting those people to comment? Is it just trying to open up a conversation, or how would you go like about that personally?
How do I go about that? It's very easy. You go and comment on their videos, but you really comment. You take the time, you actually watch or listen to their videos. Like, because these people have taken time out of their day to go to yours and check it out. What I love to do is, if I find a brand new channel, if I ever find someone new that doesn't have very many subscribers or very many views, and I find that they're talking about things that I like, and I like their video, I will tell them that. I'm not going to watch it and then go to the next one. I'm going to say the most that I can and make sure that they know that I actually watched their video. But then I go to other videos, like maybe 2 or 3 other more of their videos, and then comment on those. Watch those videos and comment on them so that they actually know that this is somebody who is actually investing their time. If they come to my channel and talk to, great. I don't care. If you really want to watch my content, I would really like to know, because I'm talking to you guys, like I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to myself. Like, I want to know. And that's that. I feel like it's just a lot of back scratching. Like, if you want comments or likes or views, or subscribers, you go and do that to the other people. Now, you don't go and subscribe so that other people can subscribe to you. I feel like that would be a bad thing. That would just be a lot of empty views and empty subscribers. Why would you ever have somebody who knits on their channel to go and subscribe to your stuff where you talk about freaking movies? You know, who cares? They're not going to care. And I feel like smaller subscriber based people get that. I feel like they understand that the people who are subscribed to them are people who actually want to hear what they're talking about. And I feel like if you let those people know, then they'll come around. And they are people who stay around. They stick around and they want to watch more.
Yeah, that's really great advice. So I also I found this very interesting when I was talking to some other people, and then you brought it up yourself. So your actual job is you're an editor for a company for YouTube videos. Is that correct? Is that kind of what you're doing?
Yes, sir. Rocky Mountain ATV MC right here in Utah.
That's awesome. And so how has that, and I know you said that experience was kind of what propelled you into the YouTube space. But what other qualities did you gain from that have now helped you? I mean, obviously, I want to say right off, your channel is, like, I would say probably the best looking graphic channel of anything I've ever seen. I think it's absolutely amazing. Your intros are amazing. All that stuff's absolutely amazing. Your backdrop is awesome. I will just put that out there, right out there. But you know, how has that experience, you know, kind of translated over into your channel?
So my experience at my job, you're saying?
Well, as an editor, you know, in general for your job and, you know, just in general. Yeah.
So YouTube, first and foremost, has only ever started to be, what can I do to show that my daughter's dad is actually, like, cool and, like, what he's into. My dad, all I have from him and his, like, growing up years is a picture of him next to his favorite truck. You know, that's about it. That's all I've got, apart from the stories that he tells. But, like, sometimes I might want more than that. And when my daughter was born, just a couple months later is when I said, screw it, let's just do a video, because she's not going to care either way because dad's on the screen. Eventually that's what it would be. So, like, that's the number one thing that I've learned. But then the second, or not learned, but, like, have wanted to do, the second thing is that I've wanted to grow my skills as an editor, because the job that I was at, it's very, very demanding. It's like, it's crazy demanding. We're making about how many videos did we make? Oh man, this week is a really slow week, so let's just say last month made over about maybe 80 videos within a single month, and that's just me, apart from a bunch of other people who are on the team. So it's just like, it's very demanding. I need to learn how to do things faster, quicker, and so why not learn how to do those things on my own free time, but by doing it in things that I really, really enjoy. Like, but I'm not going to go and make dirt bike videos at home, because I get enough of that at my job, you know? Like, I get enough supercross, motocross, endurocross, all of that stuff at my job. So might as well try and learn new things in something that I really like, and that was books and movies. So we started to do books and movies. And I mean, it's just like everybody else. All of their stuff at the very beginning is going to suck really, really bad. And that's exactly how it is for us. But I'm glad that you say that it's better graphics, better editing, and all that, because that's what I pride myself the most on. That's why I started this to begin with. And that's what I want to continue to do, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's no secret. Your stuff looks great, and we're kind of on the same wavelength on this. I think we're on the same wavelength about a lot of stuff. I mean, just talking, and, you know, Coke Zero Gang, stuff like that. But but I feel the exact same way in the journalism field. Is one, I'm taking the skills of interviewing. Obviously, I said that in the first episode of this, but with video editing as well. You know, we're on such heavy deadlines to get stories out that I will say 100% that I can edit a YouTube video 1,000 times faster than I did before I started college, because of everything I've learned on that side. So I think that's actually a very interesting perspective. And man, I need to catch up on those graphics, man. I need to catch up. That stuff.
Because it's not what you want to do. What you want to do is interview people. You want to learn more. Ever since you changed, I wouldn't say changed, but, like, gone a little bit harder in the paint so to say, about interviewing people? Do you feel like you're getting better at it because like you're doing what you really like doing and you're actually sharpening the saw? So how do you feel like ever since you started doing that, do you feel like you've been learning yourself?
Oh, 100%. Oh yeah. I mean, this is not only is it to start a conversation with people like you, people in the YouTube community that I've wanted to talk to already, because that's was my number one goal, was to talk to more people and just collab with more people. But yeah, I mean, I have learned more about, just asking questions, just listening. And yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's what I set out to do, was, get better at interviewing, I guess.
And why did you want to start doing journalism to begin with?
I wanted to cover sports. I mean, the broad terms, but I like telling stories. I like talking to people, telling stories, and that's, it's like I'm
Which
giving you
makes
cover.
sense why you love movies so much. It's kind of cool. It's kind of
Absolutely.
cool. It's all full circle. You see what I did there? It's called turning the tables in journalism. I just started asking you questions.
Well,
This is
I was gonna say, I'm like, this wasn't an interview for me, but like, I love it. I
well, I'm
love.
interested, man. It's just like we were saying. We build relationships within the community. How do we do that? We get to know people, because this is the first time you and I have ever worked together. This is essentially the first time that you and I have actually had a conversation, even though within the comments we talk a lot, but like it's different. It's different to get to know people. And I never thought that YouTube would ever be this way. The first person I ever did a collaboration with was a guy named DeBoss Official. And I really think it's changed now. But like, it's kind of weird because it was around the same time. Wow, that's crazy. It was around the same time 3 years ago that he reached out. I don't even know how he reached out to us, but he's just like, hey, I love getting to know other YouTubers. I want to know how you started, where you want to go, and all of that. And it was such a bad interview. It was so bad. Our microphone also was not plugged in. And I just thought, wow, that was really cool. And then I wanted to go and reach out to somebody else. And this guy, Comic Man Jake, was like, hey, let's talk comic books. I know that you're into books and movies and all of that. And it just turned into this thing. It's just like it's snowballed out of freaking control. And I absolutely love it. People like Trevor at Film Geeks, Film Stock, people, just so many awesome people that I've met, including yourself, man. It's just cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to talk about myself. I want to talk more about you. But this is a conversation. We are having a conversation. So I'll just say, that's why I said I wanted to start this series and start talking to people, because I started my YouTube channel a little over, I think it's 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. And it was such a long time ago. And it was just playing video games and not talking. It was just me, and that was it. And I know I was talking to Chris at Filmstock about this, and I said, I'm seeing all these collabs, all these people doing stuff, and I'm like, I don't feel left out, but I'm like, I want to do that. I want to meet these people. I want to talk to these people. So like, that's why I started this. I'm so happy to be talking to you, everyone I've talked to so far, and everyone in the future, because this community is tight. Everyone's great. And it's just great to have a conversation, which I think is awesome. So,
well, I'm glad you started doing it, man. I'm so glad. And those of you who are watching, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Anyway,
and subscribe to his channel. That's we'll leave it at that.
well,
So I want to so we'll get back to a little more of the YouTube in general. And you've had some good stuff coming out. I've been watching your genre watch list. I think is a great way to go about like the 100. We've all been doing the 100 movies I missed challenge, but that's like such a great spin on it. That's so awesome. I've loved watching the progression of that. So I just kind of want to see, and you don't have to get into like too much detail about stuff that's like secret, but like kind of what is the future hold for this channel overall? And again, you don't have to get into too much detail about like the secret stuff, but
you're fine. Eventually it's got to come out. But my genre watch list is a great way to kind of segue into what do we do over the channel to make it more interactive. My genre watch list is a part of a segment that we do that's called Real Talk, where we talk about all things movies, and we encourage people to also do the same thing. A lot of people have been doing the 100 movies that I watch, but I thought, why don't we do something different? Because eventually 100 is gonna get hit, like eventually you're going to see the 100 movies, and then what? Like, why not try and find something that you can always just do? And that's where we take 5 different genres, 5 movies we've never seen before within 5 different genres, and then we tell everybody that we're going to watch it. That's like the coolest thing about YouTube to me that ever like piqued my interest on building a community rather than meeting people was BookTube which is the book community within YouTube, had created this really cool system. Very similar to what everybody in the FilmTube community does, where it's just like, hey, new movie's out, let's talk about it. But books are different because books release in many different ways and different times. And it's just kind of weird. So everybody uses hashtags to kind of be within the same community. So like the month of September, they may do like suspenseful books in September, and they use a hashtag like that. And anybody can click the hashtag to where they can see who else is doing that. And then if you want to meet those people, they have links, they have different platforms and all of that. And the genre watch list is very much based off of that, so that people can all click one link and see what else everybody else is watching. They might want to even watch it with them and make a video and like correlate it. It's very open. It's just, we want things to be so much more interactive and in a cool way. And during a really weird time, 2020, new movies aren't coming out. And so I thought that this would be a lot more fun to just talk about movies we've never seen before and have conversations about it, encouraging others to make videos as well. So far, nobody else has, but I do look forward to people who do want to make videos on movies that they've never seen before, because then we can change the algorithm of YouTube, and instead of making the newest movie that came out trend, because there are no movies. Who cares about the newest movies that come out nowadays? Because they all suck right now. So it's just like, why don't we flip the algorithm on its head and talk about movies that we've never seen before altogether? So that's kind of what we've got going on right now. We've got a lot of other cool things when it comes to competitive tournaments. We've got really fun stuff coming up with that. Stay tuned in October so that we can launch all of the information and then get our first matches out in November, which has been a project that we've been working on for over a year now, and we're very excited.
Oh man, that sounds good. I'm excited to hear about that too. But guys, if you want to participate in the genre watch list, I will leave a link to the last genre watch list video in the description. Guys, go check that out. Comment. Go watch the movies. And yeah, it's just such a great twist on what everyone else in, as you called it, FilmTube is doing right now. So we're gonna go a little bit off of YouTube, ask a few more just random questions. We're gonna hit you with some quick fire questions right now. And the first one we got to ask is, what is your favorite movie that you wish you could have experienced in theaters that you did not see in theaters?
E.T. is definitely one, and it did come to theaters, and we didn't get to see it. But that was also an answer to the very first question. And the other one, I guess a different one that I could answer with, is one that I've always wanted to see in theaters, and that was Jurassic Park. But then we recently actually got to go see it. So we're making dreams happen over here, which is great. It was so great to see that in theaters. I can't really think of any others because I got to see Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark in theaters as well. Never thought that I wanted to see Goonies in theaters, but we also got to see that recently. So like, so many dreams coming true. I don't really know. I don't know if I saw all the Star Wars movies in theaters as well. For the re-release, I don't know if people count that. I don't know if people count the improved Lucas versions to be canon. Well, canon, but whatever. I don't know. That's a really good question now, because I saw Jurassic Park and that's all I ever wanted to see. I'd probably say we also saw Jaws too. Oh my gosh. Shoot. I think a really fun one to see in theaters that I never got to see in theaters is Independence Day. That would be a fun one. That would be a fun one to go and see, because that's like one that me, my brothers, and my cousins, we all like really, really bond over. I'd love to go see that one. That's my answer.
That would be a fun one. I actually saw it for the first time this year as part of that 100 movies I missed, and I enjoyed it. I had a fun time with it. But it's so great. I mean, obviously coronavirus, everything that's happening is terrible. The world is on fire. But if there is I guess a semi kind of little silver lining to it, with theaters opening, they're showing all of these old movies again.
Yes.
So like you've said, you've gotten to see Jurassic Park, the Goonies, all of that. One of my answers to this question has been for a while Empire Strikes Back, and I'm actually going to get to see it on Friday at my AMC, so I'm so excited about that. I am very disappointed that I did not get to see Inception because Arizona theaters were not open in time for Inception. But I'm sure
Bummer.
20-year anniversary will come and I'll get to see it, and that'll be all happy and good. Next question. What has been your proudest moment so far in your YouTube career?
Two guys that I owe so much to. So much to. They're not going to see this. I'm going to have to send this link to them. But Comic Man Jake and the Stuff of Legend are like brothers to me. They are like freaking like the Jedi Council. Like, it is so cool that the way that we met. The proudest moment I would say is when I met those guys. When I found Common Man Jake and I found the Stuff of Legend, when Common Man Jake found me, really, that's how it was. It was just like, I mean, it's not the proudest moment because you don't know what the relationship's going to be, but like actually like, oh, you know what? This is the answer. Probably 4 months ago, when everything was just so crazy, Daniel and Jake were just like, hey, we should all just link up. And in the back of my head, it was just like, oh, are we making a video? And like, no, like we just need to like regroup and see how our families are doing, see if you guys need anything. Like Comic Man Jake was just so like on top of it, like wanted to know how he could help. And I was just like, dude, this is the coolest. This is the coolest thing. Like just to meet somebody from 3 places on the map, you know, that we've never met in person. Probably won't, but I promise we will. I promise you guys, we will meet up. San Diego Comic-Con. But like, it was so cool to just sit there and have like, just talking and not even worrying about YouTube, just talking about life, seeing how everybody is. That was the coolest thing to just realize this is how relationships can be. This is how like friends are made. And I've since had cool conversations with people that don't even have to be about YouTube, you know? It's just like, that was just when I realized like these relationships that we've made, these friendships that we've made are just so freaking important to us. And that was probably it. That was probably the proudest moment on YouTube.
That is amazing. That is really awesome. So the final quick-fire question I have for you: what is your most anticipated film? It does not have to be this year. Of any film that we know is on the slate for God knows how far into the future, if you had to pick one movie, what is your most anticipated movie?
A Highlander remake.
Okay. Okay.
It's not a thing. It's not really happening, but it does need to happen. Out of all the movies that need to be remade, that one needs to be done justice. That is the coolest storyline ever. Bro, you guys need to get on that. Denny, you need to do that one. Okay, I know you're listening to me, Denny. Hear me out. Highlander, just do it. Just do it. It would be so awesome. Other than that, it's probably Dune, which is actually happening this year. It's actually a movie that I've always wanted to have remade because the original is just like not that good. And the computer game, I used to play it all the time. And I just thought this is a cool world. It's like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars put together. And when they announced it a couple years ago, I was just like, this is what I've always wanted. That and the Highlander remake is what I've always wanted.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looked epic. It looked great. The cast is great. Denny at the helm. I am confident in that one. I mean, it's going to be great. Last question I have for you today to wrap this all up. I've said this at the end of every video, and it sounds cheesy, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to hit you with the Sean Evans Hot Ones ending. Where can they find you? What do you have coming out? What should people be looking out for in the future?
Well, what people need to be looking out for is this channel. This channel is great. This channel right here. Jack, you're an awesome guy. You're a freaking cool guy. I feel like people need to watch your stuff more. And I feel like if people just took the time and actually like got to know you more, then they would be inspired to create their own content. And I feel like a lot of people need to do that because what you do is great. You've got a great personality. You know what you want to do, and you're actually out there doing it. And I appreciate it. You've been out here for a while doing it. And I appreciate you taking the leap that you need to do the things that you want to do. Other than that, we got nothing. That's it.
Okay, but I mean, you're very kind. I really do appreciate that. I'm already seeing you're like one of the most humble guys, but come on, this is the spotlight. Where can they find you, man? Just let them know, just in case they want to go over and take a peek.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I got like a LinkedIn page that I haven't seen for like forever. If you want to go look. Okay, fine. All right. So we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. Um, I'm trying to get better at Instagram. It's cool because that's how I got to talk to you, and that's what I've noticed that is good for. Twitter is just toxic, and I don't even know what to do with that anymore. But YouTube, NerdyBlurbTV is where we talk about anything the freak I want. Like, I feel like that's the key about YouTube is that I'm really happy with what we're doing because I'm doing whatever I want. We are going to be dropping a video very soon with AJ Reacts 2, another great channel. Go and check him out. But we're doing a collaboration with him talking about Spider-Man, our experience with Spider-Man, and hopefully where we can see him go in the future. After that, we're going to drop a video about aliens and Bigfoot and if they're real or not. You know, like we do whatever we want. And it's because we don't care. We just want to talk about cool things. So, yeah, I mean, cool stuff's happening. We like it, and it's fun.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, his link will be down in the description. All of his social media accounts will be down in the description. Like I said, go check out the genre watch list. That will also be down in the description. Check out all of his stuff. Thank you so much for coming on today, man. Great conversation. I really, really appreciate it. But guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you in the next video.